Nice. Hello and welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with Green White Black Maverick. So last night we played with Green White Maverick. Pretty much Achilles list with a few different changes. This time we're playing black, mainly for Plague Engineer, Abrupt Decay, and also Vraska in the sideboard. I was going to find room for Assassin's Trophy, as I do like having an answer for some of the bigger creatures or some of the bigger threats we're facing in this current meta. We've seen a lot of Khan, we've seen a little bit of Jace, but mainly because Oko and Teferi are kind of the Planeswalkers of choice right now. Abrupt Decay is fine as just a 1-for-1, but Vraska is kind of nice because it can destroy both of them and also stick around, so I do like Vraska out of the board, especially for the grindy matchups. We have moved Teeg to the sideboard. It's not really a card that I've really felt like we've needed in the main deck over the past couple of weeks. I feel like Collector Ouphe kind of just does the job against the combo decks that we really need to target right now, so Collector Ouphe has been pretty sweet. Hey, TL Hunter and Minifire, welcome to the stream. The other little change we made was playing the Sylvan Safekeeper over 4th Mum. I really like Safekeeper because we can Green Suns for it, which is nice, so being able to actually get protection of Green Suns is cool. And it works straight away, so we don't have to wait for it to untap. And you can also get some wins where your opponent just doesn't realize you can sack all your lands and create a huge knight and swing in for a lot more damage than you thought. Prelates in the main deck and the sideboard. I really like Prelate right now. I'm not playing a 4th Thalia because I want to fit in that extra piece of hate. Sometimes when you play the full 4th Thalia, you can get extra copies in your hand that just don't really do anything. And if we play against the wrong side of the meta, Thalia is probably one of the cards we're taking out against some of the Fed decks, so having Prelate can be really nice, especially against some of those Delver decks, where although Swords of Plowshares is really nice, we do also have Abrupt Decay for removal, so naming one isn't as bad as being just on green-white. I've brought back Choke in the sideboard. I think there's going to be a few more blue decks running around, especially some of the decks like Blue-Green Omnitel, some of the Miracles decks that are coming back out. But the big card that I'm really scared of is Thassa's Oracle. That card's been doing a whole lot. Swag Code MTG, welcome to the stream. But that's pretty much it. I think we'll just go through a league and see how we go. We might even play a second. I have dropped Thoughtseize. I kind of like playing Deafening Silence over that slot because I found out that I was pretty much playing Thoughtseize against these decks, and against the Stoneforge Mystic decks where we were bringing in as well. We're pretty likely to win that match anyway without Thoughtseize. I think I'd rather target the matchups that we don't really have a great... we really need to buy time against. And sometimes Thoughtseize isn't enough, but Deafening Silence against a lot of the fast combo decks, a lot of the Dark Ritual decks, it can be really nice, so... hopefully it's okay. Hex Drinker as well should be pretty sweet to play with. Alright, hope you guys are well. It's pretty dire times right now, so... I hope everyone is safe and healthy, and looking forward to some Legacy action. It's good coffee. TL Hunter, what have you been playing right now? What have you been playing in Paper Magic or online? I know a lot of Paper Magic has been dying down recently because of the virus, but would be cool to know what you've been playing. Playing against GP Pezzoa. This is an interesting one because we kind of live or die by the one-landers. It has got a Birds of Paradise, which is really nice, and the Scryb Ranger means the next turn we can cast Scryb Ranger for free and then kind of untap and bounce the forest if we don't draw a land, which is kind of cool. We're on the draw as well, so I'm actually going to keep this. I'm going to see how it goes. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizards. That's pretty unfortunate. I feel like the music industry is taking a pretty huge hit, which is pretty sad. But there's not too much that they can do, unfortunately. Interesting. This could be Infect. Most likely Infect. Bant Maverick has been running around, but you never know these days. It's nice to have Abrupt Decay in this matchup because sometimes Swords to Plowshares just isn't enough. Multiple angles of attack. Okay. So if my opponent has Daze or Force, then it's pretty rough, because Scryb Ranger is just not good enough. I could play Sylvan Safekeeper, and then hold up Swords to Plowshares. I could also just hold up Swords to Plowshares to play around Daze. I think if right here, if I'm not doing anything other than holding up removal, I probably should just try to build out my board state a little bit more with Scryb Ranger. And if they have a counterspell, they have a counterspell. But at least I'm making them have it. Hopefully... Okay, cool. So now we can untap birds, return the forest. Play the forest. Now I also have the option of playing Safekeeper here, but it means I can't decay in their turn. I have to play around with swords. A free 1/1, yeah, a free 1/1 is a big upside when we're pretty stuck on mana as well. I think to play it safe, I'm going to just pass it with these two here. The interesting thing is, if I play Sylvan Safekeeper, we then have two blockers, which makes my opponent either attack with one, with Exalted, or try to go for a Berserk run. I think I'm happy playing Safekeeper here, having the two blockers, and then we do have a backup mana with Birds of Paradise, because we can tap it, return the forest, then untap it, so Swords to Plowshares doesn't actually get countered by Daze, which is nice. Alright. And I probably want to keep the Decay for a Blighted Agent. So Sylvan Safekeeper isn't doing a whole lot here. And if I do block, it might give off the impression that I don't have removal and I'm just trying to buy time. But they could Invigorate and Berserk, and then if they don't have, say, Force of Will or Spell Pierce, then the Swords is pretty good. And the Safekeeper isn't doing too much anyway, outside of if we draw Cradle. If they do nothing, that's fine, but if they don't... There's the Invigorate, okay. And there's Berserk. Well, I guess we can see if Swords works now. Vines, rough. That is just game, I believe. There's nothing we can do. I guess make them have it is really the big thing that we had to do. So Infect can be pretty tough. Coming out, we definitely like Deafening Silence. It's really nice because if they cast a spell, if we cast a removal spell in response, they can't do anything. So it makes it a little bit awkward for them. Choke's an interesting one, which I don't mind one on the play. Especially because they play usually 3 to 4 drops. Force of Vigor is quite nice because it does deal with Inkmoth Nexus, and I'm going to assume they also run Sylvan Library, which is pretty good in this matchup. We can take out Collector Ouphe. Infect straight up again. Yeah, we played against it yesterday as well. Which is pretty rough, but it's nice to get the games against it. Probably Scavenging Ooze as well. Ramunap might be a little bit win more. Tireless Tracker is kind of nice because it allows us to draw into more removal. I might actually go down on a land here. Yeah, I'm going to go down on a Verdant. 22 lands is fine. I think this is pretty good. Vraska is an interesting one. It is one more piece of removal. Maybe I'll like Vraska over the other Force. This looks pretty sweet. Especially on the play, we can play a little bit more of a higher curve. This hand's interesting. It's just a little bit too slow. It's a turn 1 mum, but then we're not waiting 2 turns to do nothing to drop a knight. I think I really want a piece of removal and a mana accelerant. Which is pretty much this. I do like that we have all our colors. Deafening Silence is quite good. We'll keep this. What are we going to bottom? I think it might be the Plains, because I might just go and get a Savannah straight up. The small issue is that we don't have too many black sources in the deck, only a Bayou and a Scrubland that we can fetch with Windswept Heath. So I kind of want to keep that around. So maybe it's just Sylvan Safekeeper. And then keep quite a reactive hand. Hey, Branormos, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. Ah, you're welcome. Sorry, dude. I'm not sure why Nightbot... Let me quickly... But you are more than welcome for the Green Sun Zenith. Alright, Deafening Silence is nice because it's obviously the card we want turn 1 outside of a Mana Dork. Kind of want to keep this Wasteland right now for a, Blooded Agent is fine. Tireless Tracker, interesting. I'm just going to go with Windswept Heath, pass, hold up Abrupt Decay. And then probably Abrupt Decay in their end step. Unless they try to cast something here. Taking 2 is fine. Gonna get a Bayou and a Scrubland. Nice. So now we go Tracker, Wasteland, so I could have also played it a little bit safer and played out Qasali Pridemage, because it also hits the Inkmoth Nexus, which is nice. I don't want to Wasteland here because I want to play around crop rotation. I might try to Wasteland in their upkeep. Worst case is they activate and then have Vines of Arsewood kicked and they swing in for 6, which I think is okay. As long as we keep their infect creatures off the table. Okay, well that's a nice little win for us. Swords, okay. Interesting, not getting in with the Noble Hierarch. Swords is nice. I think I want to crack a clue first. See if we draw a land. Nice. Hey, Irish Visionary. We're currently playing against Infect. We're down a game, and they look to be splashing white. I assume for cards like Swords to Plowshares, maybe Rest in Peace in the board, maybe Teferi. But we played against this type of deck yesterday as well. Another Hierarch, okay. Nice, I like the beats. Still gonna save this. Windswept Heath, interesting. Very cool. Hey, no, no judgment whatsoever. I think Infect's pretty cool right now. I think that decks like Infect and Reanimator are great decks to play when you don't really know what the meta is. Knight's pretty nice. Another Force. Interesting. No cards in hand, okay. Brainstorm's gonna be fine. Yeah, it's very true. If you have Delver, then Infect isn't too far-fetched, especially with Noble Hierarchs are down. The Infect creatures are pretty easy to get, and Inkmoth Nexus isn't too much of a hit, which is nice. Scale up. Interesting. Well, now I'm pretty happy just to swords this. They can't do anything in response, which is nice because of Deafening Silence. And it's still 2-for-1s them. Just a little bit scary if now they have an Infect creature. This is fine. Another Mum's really nice. Blighted Agent is probably what I'm scared of the most. Inkmoth not so much because you have the Qasali Pridemage, which is nice. A pass is great for us. Another swords, alright. Firing in all cylinders. I think if we draw into Plague Engineer, I don't even want to play it. I want to try to win this game without playing it to make it look like we don't have it. Yeah, it's very true, which is nice. There is one Inkmoth in deck, but still, I don't think they would have brought in anything like Viridian Shaman. They definitely could have. It's a nice little 2-for-1, but Ramunap. Interesting. So here, I could actually be really aggressive. I could Swords their Noble Hierarch, they gain nothing, and then next turn just swing for 6. I don't think I need it just in case either. Okay. To the board. Do I want to change anything? Veil's also interesting because it does counter Force of Will and Daze. But I'm not sure if it's really needed, especially since 2 of our removal spells are Abrupt Decay. I might go down on the Vraska and just bring in another Force because I really want to make sure that I have an answer for Inkmoth Nexus, and also if they have a Sylvan Library, I don't want them getting ahead with the Sylvan Library as well. Hey, F-Pauls, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. I think it's playable. I think that it has a lot of game against a lot of decks in the format right now. I'm finding Thassa's Oracle is a little bit tough at the moment, but otherwise, I think Maverick has the tools to beat most. Is pretty good. This is an interesting hand. It has the double Wasteland, which is nice, but if our opponent starts off with a Glistener Elf, it is a little bit iffy. I think I have the luxury being on the draw to actually mulligan this away to hopefully a hand with some sort of removal like Swords to Plowshares. And although this is a one-lander, it's tough because we have all the removal in the world, but we don't have all the mana in the world. We really need this Noble Hierarch to survive. But I think we can't say no to this. So I think we keep this, and then it's between the Green Suns or the Knight that we drop. So we'll definitely keep. And I think just because Green Suns, if we don't need it for something specific, it can go and find the Knight, we might as well keep the Green Suns over the Knight. So we'll drop the Knight. Our opponent went to 6 as well, so... Oof, okay. So now the question is... Well, definitely Noble Hierarch. No pumps is really nice for us, but now we really need a fetch land. If we draw a fetch land, then we're hopefully good. Deafening Silence, interesting. Deafening Silence not too bad, because it stops any shenanigans. And I think we have the time to actually allow Deafening Silence to come down this turn, play Noble Hierarch, and then just hold up these destroy effects. Hopefully. Silence is quite nice because it allows us to react to their pump spells with removal. Faerie, okay, interesting. Which they can bounce this, I guess? They can also just go up to 5, okay. No attacks, interesting. Not sure why they didn't attack there. Birds. So I could Green Suns for Scryb Ranger, but then I can't Swords to Plowshares. So I think here we have to go Swords on Glistener Elf, attack Teferi down to 3, and then we can play the birds. Teferi is trouble for us. Teferi is quite nice. Bounce the bird, interesting. Maybe they just have it here. Activate Inkmoth. Wow, okay. Interesting. I thought they might have had Activate Inkmoth and then also Invigorate Berserk, but maybe they just didn't draw into anything. What? Deafening Silence, of course. Wait, why can't they bounce Deafening Silence? This can bounce an enchantment. It was on 3. So you return Deafening Silence to my hand, and then you activate Inkmoth, you attack, you Invigorate, and Berserk. Rough. No. No. Ha. Ha ha. Rough. Well, we're on the board, which is nice. I mean, you got to take the wins with the wins, and sadly, that's just MTGO. That's one of those losses that feels really bad because it's one of those losses that only happens on MTGO. It wouldn't happen in paper. You're not gonna point to Deafening Silence and then accidentally push the bird back to hand. But yeah, Infect can be tough. I think we really needed to see the Plague Engineers in that matchup because Plague on Human does stop Noble Hierarch and Blighted Agent, and then you can name Elf or otherwise to or Inkmoth to stop the other Infectors. This is a kind of awkward hand because of the Dryad Arbor. If this was another mana source, I'd be very happy to keep this. But I think either way, it's okay. Having the swords is nice against some of the fairer decks, and then double Thalia is nice against the blue decks that care about it, because usually the first one gets countered. I think because we're on the draw as well, I'm happy to keep this and see how it goes, but I could definitely see a decision to mulligan because of the issues with our mana from just a 7-hand layout. Not sure what my opponent's on either. Trop. Okay, maybe Infect again. Interesting. Yeah, sadly the one-land hands have come back to bite me in the past, so... Windswept, okay. There we go. So we're up against Infect. I'm happy to lead with Windswept Heath. Swords in their turn, and then if it gets dazed, we can play the Thalia. Hey, Jack. Joining the subscription again for a second month. A huge thank you. Hope you're doing well in Melbourne. Nice to have you back. I could play the Dryad Arbor as well, because then it allows all our curve to play pretty well, but I think Windswept Heath here is fine. Yeah, Oko is pretty good to play. The only reason that I'm playing black is that I really like Plague Engineer right now, but Oko does make for some pretty silly situations where you just kind of have it. Oko, okay. Oko's pretty good. But yeah, I think right now that Bant has a lot of play to it. Plague, interesting. I'm gonna go for Savannah Scrubland. I want to keep 2 black sources. Plowing Oko would be pretty sweet. The 3/3 also attacks for 5, which is... Okay, well 5 now, which is pretty nuts. Pretty close to over. We can't even trade anything. Safekeeper. Interesting. Fetch is always pretty scary because it most likely means Jace. At least Choke seems pretty good against this deck. But yeah, this is looking pretty dire. Mum. We don't even have a way to give this Exalted, which is rough. Just way too behind. Unfortunate. To the board. I like Choke. This might even just be like a Bant control deck. Veil's interesting on the play because we might be able to just play around some of their removal. Or counter magic, which is kind of nice. I don't mind going down on Swords to Plowshares. Plague still seems fine. Collector Ouphe is interesting. I believe they played a snow-covered land. Yeah, it could definitely be Blade, so I'm probably scared of a few things. I think I'd rather just bring in Force over the Collector Ouphe. Maybe not. The only thing that Collector Ouphe does poorly in this deck is when Tireless Tracker is out, we can't sacrifice the clues, but otherwise it's... We do have Abrupt Decay as well, so I think we can actually drop that. Maybe Force isn't what we want to be. Prelate's interesting. Hextrigger's pretty nice, Mum's pretty nice, Wasteland's still pretty good. Prelate is interesting, but maybe not where we want to be. Bant has a few options at each CMC, so it's not too hard. It's pretty hard to try to put them in a lock. I could just name 3 if I really wanted to keep Oko off the field, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. Everything else kind of has its spot. Maybe it is just the other Swords to Plowshares. If this is Bant, then they're most likely on a true name list. So Swords is pretty rough. And I don't think I really want to spend a Swords on something like a Stoneforge Mystic or a Snapcaster Mage. I'm going to see how this goes, and then if there is a game 3, we can come back and see how it all runs. This sounds fine, we'll keep this. Just going to go Bayou into Bird. I could also go Savannah into Mum, but I kind of like getting my mana out first, because then we have the ability to also Wasteland our opponent. However, Mum, getting Mum online ASAP is pretty good as well. It kind of forces them to have the Swords to Plowshares. And they most likely Swords off a Jewel and not a basic. So maybe Mum's the play. I like Mum. As good as a turn 1 bird is, because it turns on so many turn 2s, I'm just going to go for Mum. We can steal birds and Wasteland next turn as well if needed. Nice. So there's the white jewel. Exactly what we're talking about. Misty Pass, okay. Dryad Arbor. Not what we want to see. Could Green Suns for Hexdrinker, but I don't think that's really what we want to be doing right now. Could also keep this for something like Tireless Tracker, which I think is the better play. I could also go for Scryb Ranger, but that's not doing a whole lot. I kind of want to find at least a threat with this Green Sun Zenith, or else our hand isn't doing too much. I've seen these decks play Engineered Explosives as well, which can be pretty rough, so I kind of want to stay away from getting Hexdrinker here. I might even just go Dryad Arbor Pass. Interesting. Choke. Looks like a force. Force pitching Brazen Burrower. Okay. Good to know they have Brazen Burrower. Nice way to get rid of choke. Hey, Styfro, welcome, and thank you. It does feel very fair in this kind of build. Stoneforge, okay. Stoneforge is fine. I kind of hope they play another land and ponder, but probably not. Jide, okay. Wasteland, interesting. They're gonna go after my mana, okay. I think I'm happy here just to go for choke, and then probably just play Mum. Wow, okay. Nice from us. Catacombs. I kind of want to just get rid of the Stoneforge in case they have Batterskull. They did get Jide, but if they have Batterskull, it kind of changes the board a bit. Okay, nice. We didn't see too much change. Maybe Force is worth it over... Is Force worth it? We saw snow-covered lands, so I'm assuming they're playing Astrolabe. So maybe Collector Ouphe actually isn't too bad. And I might take out a choke on the draw. Especially seeing that they have Brazen Burrower. I could actually see a drop in Veil and keep the choke. Because if my opponent's Brazen Burrowing a choke, I'm not too unhappy. Ren 6 without Wasteland is a whole different ball game. But yeah, it's very interesting to see how blue players assess some of the unfair cards in some of the fair decks, and how some of the fair players with some of the unfair cards assess it in the blue decks. Do I want to change anything? I still think mums are fine. Having the one swords is nice because we got to show it off that turn, so they might think we have more. Or kept in more than just the one. See how this goes. This is a pretty nice hand. We'll keep this. It luckily plays around EE as well. And the double mum's really nice. Windswept. I think here I'm just going to go Savannah into Mum. I want to get Mum online ASAP. And then next time we can steal Mum and Verdant. Days, okay. That's fine. Stoneforge is fine. Batterskull, okay. Forest. Okay. Mum first. Now Noble. Nothing from my opponent. Interesting. I'm gonna go with Wasteland here. Play Knight. Pass back. Just gonna Wasteland here. In Upkeeper they could Brainstorm in response and then get the fetch effect as well, so I'd rather just do it there when they're tapped out. Happy to take this as well. Okay, this is fine. So they have 3 cards in hand in Jide. I could get the Collector Ouphe down now if I wished. But I think I'd rather just keep up a Knight that can be a bigger creature. A 6/6 in this regard. Brainstorm's fine. That's fine. Oh, let's see if they attack, because then we can Wasteland ourselves. Oh, they are attacking. Interesting. Fetch 5, 6, 7. So here we can block with a 4/4. We can fetch, and then we can Wasteland ourselves, which kills the Batterskull token, which is pretty nice. So unfortunately, hopefully this works out pretty well for us. Go to blocks. Block here. Before damage we'll fetch. We'll get a... I guess Dryad Arbor? Doesn't really matter. Sack Dryad Arbor. I guess we can also just Wasteland our opponent. We don't have to Wasteland ourselves. Now they lose the Batterskull. The Then we play Collector Ouphe, which turns off the Jide. Looks like they're going to try to Swords in response. This is fine. We can give pro-white. There we go. So unfortunately, our opponent might have just not done the math with Knight. And we get there, which is nice. Oh, some good chat going on. Hey, Goblin Lucky 1, welcome. I like all the work that you're doing for the Goblins community out there. Very cool. If anyone here is into Goblins in Legacy, which I can tell you is a very cool deck, should definitely check out Goblin Lucky 1's content. On YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch. And on Patreon. And on Patreon. Go support that dude. I saw the, that Goblins game against, was it... I'm gonna say Bug Delver? That was insane. Alright, on the draw. Joecast 07. Oh, no. Yes. Yes. Keep. And I think because we have the Sylvan Library, I'm happy dropping the Tracker here. We can go find it later on with Green Sun Zenith. These two creatures we can't. So I'm happy to drop Tracker. Ooh. Okay. So now we're definitely leading with Verdant, because it plays around Wasteland and Rishadan Port. Oh, Green Suns. Interesting. So I could Green Suns for Dryad Arbor, but if they have both... I guess if they have Thalia, then it really stifles our hand. And they most likely have Thalia over Wasteland and Swords. And I want to keep this Verdant Catacombs for a black source. So let's just go Savannah into Dryad Arbor. This way, if they Wasteland, hopefully we can still get down Sylvan Library. And if they play another creature that's a human, we can just play Plague Engineer. Nice! Okay, this is perfect. And there's the tracker that we wanted. I'm going to go for another... Probably to Scrubland here. And just go for the 2-for-1 right now. Now we can most likely also play Sylvan Library next turn, no matter what they do. And then they don't have a clock, so we get to go after... Swords is fine. Okay. Well, now we have Karakas as well, which is great. So I wonder here if I just want to go Tracker into Karakas. I think that's better, and then hold up Swords to Plowshares. That way, if our opponent goes Palace Jailer, we have a creature to attack with still, and removal. I'm going to keep this around for now. Plague is usually a 3-for-1, which is really nice. Recruiter. Interesting. That's going to be fine. Maybe just Flicker Wisp, which we have the swords for on the Recruiter, which is nice. Flicker Wisp, okay. Not even attacking with the Thalia. Interesting. Alright, do we draw a fetch land? Plains are still pretty good. Play a land. Now we can play Library. I'd probably rather draw a card here. Than play out Thalia. Although Thalia is okay, especially if my opponent's on the plan. I guess Thalia turns off our ability to Swords the Recruiter in response, so I'm just going to draw a card here and attack. Probably could have drawn a card as well before we actually play the land, because if we draw a Wasteland, we can take them off port. So that was a misplay. I apologize for that. Double port, interesting. Flick Wisp is fine. Trigger on the stack, we'll see if it targets the Recruiter. And now we can Swords this in response. Now we can most likely just pay 8 with Sylvan Library. One, two, three, four, 5. 3, 4. I think I can go and get Scryb Ranger. And then go and get a 3-drop. I can also go for Questing Beast, which is pretty fun. I kind of want Collector Ouphe just to make sure my opponent can't have Jide next turn. That's probably the way they get back into this game. I'm actually going to pay for this. Pay. So we can go... Oh, we actually have Qasali Pridemage in the deck as well, which is nice. Qasali is pretty good. Do we want to draw a card first? We could try to draw into a land. So we can try to crack the clue for 2. Use 3 to get Qasali. I guess it doesn't matter because they only have the Tireless Tracker. So let's just go, yeah. Green Suns for 2. We have Exalted, so this actually gets through the Flicker Wisp, which is nice. If my opponent's on the double port plan, that's obviously very nice for us because our pressure is so good. Could see a second Flicker Wisp, but we can save something with Sylvan Library as well, with Sylvan Safekeeper. Flicker Wisp, okay. Exile that one, okay. They probably go for the Sylvan Library here. They might even... Alright, so we'll choose this creature and we'll sack the plains. One Swords would be nice here. Or an Abrupt Decay. We have a few outs. Scrub Ranger is pretty nice. Foot on top. Put on top. So now we can draw a land. I can also trade the tracker for both of these if this player wishes, which I actually think is a bit of a win for us. No blocks. Interesting. Well then, let's go play Scryb Ranger. Untap this, return this, and then we can crack the clue. Just get an extra damage in. And also draw a card. I'm going to trade here. I don't want to go down to 4. I'd rather go to 7 because then another Flicker Wisp isn't lethal. Okay, luckily. To the board. Force of Vigor and Vraska. We can take out 3 Thalias. Take out Prelate. Prelate's not the greatest. There's nothing else here that I really want, and maybe that's an issue with my boarding. Maybe I should have an extra card here for this type of matchup. Maybe it is going to be Prelate. Prelate can be nice if I know my opponent has Jide in hand and we destroy a Stoneforge and then name 2 or name 4 for the Planeswalkers, name 3 for Council's Judgment. I think this will be fine. Plague Engineer there pretty big because it does get rid of the mum, which is nice. Whew. This hand is fine. We'll keep this. If we draw into a land, I'm happy to Swords here. But otherwise, I don't want to get Wastelanded out of the game. I think because we drew the Force of Vigor, I'm not too afraid of the Mother of Runes because the creatures that I care about attacking are most likely creatures with equipment. So let's go for Savannah into birds. I guess I kind of want to keep the birds for now because it's my only black source. And best case, I can draw into land and Plague Engineer, so we actually have some time. Let's go for Noble Hierarch. I think because I don't have the luxury of playing around Wasteland with this hand. Oof. Stoneforge is fine. Yeah, maybe getting a forest in hindsight is a lot better. It does cost 2 mana. There we go. I think if they just attack with the Battle Skull here, I'm happy to take it, and then Force of Vigor the following turn to get Jide as well. Okay. Now I'm kind of forced into using it. But yeah, going back to hitting that basic forest, maybe that was just the better play. Just not being so greedy. Come on now. Come on, deck. So close yet so far. Alright. Unfortunate. Sideboarding, we don't want to change anything. Just go ahead and play a little bit tighter. I'm okay with this hand. Still gonna get a Savannah. Especially because we're on the play. That's fine. I kind of just want to take care of the vial here. Don't ever evoke her one time. Don't ever evoke her. Oh. Jide. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. One land, one land. Ah! Let's go for Pridemage. Stoneforge is fine. Have to name Qasali here. Whew. Hey, okay. Now we're in business. Definitely attack with Qasali. And then I think we just hold up Swords to Plowshares. I could also play Skoos here. I don't mind play Skoos, hold up Swords to Plowshares off, and then play Plague Engine next turn. Ah, this is fine. We'll get a Scrubland. Stoneforge is fine. Sophie, okay. Wasteland. Wasteland a little bit better for us. I believe they got Batterskull before. Did they get Batterskull before? That's a good question. We could go Plague and just name Stoneforge Mystic, and it means they can't attack with the Jide, which is kind of nice. They revealed Batterskull here 3 minutes ago. Okay, so they do have Batterskull. So maybe then I just want to deal with the Stoneforge Mystic and Wasteland them. I don't mind that. And then they have 3 cards left. A little bit risky, but I'm going to see if that works. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's go for... I kind of want to keep the Decay for the Jide. We can definitely attack for 4. And then I can't play both Knight and Decay. Cowards don't block warriors. Yeah, I'm happy to get rid of the Stoneforge, Wasteland them, and then just try to keep the pressure on the board. And then hopefully this Plague Engineer can help us with anything they play, like a Flicker Wisp. Orzhov Advocist. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player may put 2+1/+1 counters on a creature they control. If that player does, creatures that players control can attack you or planeswalkers you control until next turn. Interesting. At least Plague Engineer kind of allows us to deal with this. So here we can actually attack for 3. Let's see if they block. Because then we can kill with Plague Engineer. No blocks, okay. That's a human, which is nice. So they need both swords and also equip and swing. Ah, but this allows them to tick up. Okay. So if I put counters on my creatures can't attack them, but if they put counters on their creatures, they can still attack us? At the beginning of your upkeep, each player may put 2+1/+1 counters on a creature they control. Okay. If a player does, which they have, creatures that player controls can't attack you or a planeswalker you control until next turn. But it's only for them, correct? This is a weird card. I guess, yeah. Go for bird and then block with Plague Engineer to just kill it. Interesting card. I've never seen it before. Jidei's fine. Happy to block this. I think they have to kill a bird here. Maybe they won't. Interesting. Yeah, okay, now we need to draw something good. We need to draw a land here and play this Plague Engineer. Haha! Yes! Attack for 4. Oh, did I just skip? Okay, I skipped. Yeah, of course. Okay, that's fine. I guess now they get Batterskull, but we get Knight. It's a commander card? Okay. Council's Judgment perhaps here? Flicker Wisp. Okay. Maybe flickering the port? The bird. Interesting. Oh, nice. That was really good. Yeah, this is a really interesting card. Very cool to see players trying out new cards like this. I think Maverick is. I think it really depends as well on the play draw, and I think it depends a whole lot on Aether Vial. But I think Maverick has the quick upside of having main deck answers to equipment, like playing Qasali Pridemage. We both have protection. We have a few bigger creatures, but they might have things like Mirran Crusader, which of course are great against Maverick. We get to make use of the graveyard as a resource, which is a pretty big upside. We can splash colors pretty easily, but yeah, it can depend on the list. You know, sometimes D&T can just get there with flyers. Like Flickerwisp can be a bit of an issue if there's multiple of them. Port can be a bit of an issue because the deck usually plays at sorcery speed, so that's an advantage that they get Port over Wasteland, but Wasteland's still pretty good. But it's usually a pretty good back and forth. I think the deck has a lot of play to it. Council's Judgment, interesting. What do they name? Probably the Knight, but then the Screws gets bigger. Interesting. So now they have to block the Ooze or have a removal spell. Alright, so we'll definitely eat Stoneforge Mystic. And we'll definitely eat Mother of Ruin, Orzhov. Yeah, Force of Vigor is also a very good upside, but like sometimes if a player has Rest in Peace, then it can have an effect on the game, but otherwise it's pretty tough. I think I'm just getting Dryad Arbor in the end step. Just get an extra attacker and an extra lethal threat. Nice. Whew. It's always nice to get up against D&T because it can be pretty tricky sometimes, but luckily when we need the land, we drew it. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. A huge thank you to everyone who's watching. I currently have a goal on the weekend to make it to 1,000 followers, and I currently have 991, so I need 9 more. So if you like my content, definitely think about following. I'll be back in a second. Alright, we're back. Yeah, I think that the D&T matches are always fun. I think that that creature matchups that involve D&T are very close to how I would assume chess would play out in a Magic environment, because it's very much, this is my move, this is your move, this is my move, this is your move. On the die roll again. Surely we'll get a little bit of a play turn soon. Not too sure what my opponent's on. I feel like my opponent's on a combo deck. I'm gonna keep this. We have all the mana in the world, which is nice, so we have removal as well and swords. It's a little bit weak to something that needs like Thalia against them, but see how it goes. Opponent also went to 6. Tropical Island. Preordain. Okay, this could be blue-green Omnitel, which is pretty cool. We don't really have a great answer right now, but I think Wasteland's going to be pretty good. Hopefully our opponent bottoms. Two cards on the bottom. Okay. I think we're definitely Wastelanding here. Haha! Nice. Okay. Interesting. I'm just going to go with Plains pass, and then if they play something, we can at least try to swords it. Ah, sorry. Sorry, guys. Classic. Harry Crocodile, thank you very much. Apologies. Apologies. We're back. So our opponent went turn 1 Preordain, 2 cards to the bottom. We went Wasteland and Tropical Island. And then our opponent played Wasteland Pass. So I think our opponent is obviously going for mana here, or at least trying to dig for some. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Plague Engineer. Alright, let's go with Verdant Pass. I don't want a 6 because then they can Wasteland our Verdant. Wow, just a pass again. Alright, so here I'm pretty happy to go for Basic Forest and cast Scryb Ranger. I think I'm also in a position to hopefully play this deck in game 1 as a green-white Maverick deck and not show that we're on the Black Splash. See what they pitch. Brazen Borrower. Okay. This looks like some sort of mid-rangey deck. To be fair, I could have probably gone with Ramunap Excavator there as the force hit. And then tried to keep the Knight, because the Knight's probably the better card. Although, Ramunap Get Back Wasteland is going to be pretty nice. Wow, okay, so 4 draw steps and my opponent didn't find a land. Even after preordaining bottom to the... twice to the bottom. Blue decks. Choke. Brazen Borrower. Vraska. Out. Collector Ouphe. Prelate. And maybe just a Green Suns. We're not really trying to find anything too fast. I think I'm happy with this. And see how it goes. And if there is a third game, we can come back to it. Maybe Hex Drinker isn't where we want to be either. Maybe I want to just play one Veil, just to have the Veil in the deck. Because Hex Drinker can be just bounced by Brazen Borrower pretty easily. And then I assume they also play things like Abrupt Decay, Fatal Push, if they're playing the black. So I'm going to go with this 60 and see how it goes. I do like Veil. I really like Vraska because a lot of the answers that Maverick has for Oko is 1 for 1 and they've most likely already got value off Oko. But at least with Vraska, it Abrupt Decay is something like Oko and then sticks around, which is really cool. So I like that it doesn't put you down on value against Oko like some of the 1 for 1 spells do, like Abrupt Decay or Council's Judgment, which is kind of nice. And then it's also quite good. One little thing that's really cool is that with Tireless Tracker, it's whenever you sacrifice a clue, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. So if you have a clue around and you sacrifice it to Vraska, Tireless Tracker still gets the counter and you still draw the card, which is really cool. So that's like a little bit of a synergy that's come up in at least one game, which is really cool. So Vraska's been pretty nice, especially if we're also ahead on mana. Then you can just make use of, you know, destroying some of your early Noble Hierarchs and things, which is kind of cool. This hand is okay. I'm going to keep this. I'm not sure what the Verdant's going to fetch out. I kind of want to draw into another fetch land or a white source, but we'll see how it goes. Volcanic Island. Interesting. This might just be like blue-red Delver. Sylvan Library. Interesting. So sadly, especially on the draw, I think Wasteland here just puts me back too far. I probably just need to go with Verdant Pass. See what they reveal as well. Brainstorm, okay. I don't mind swordsing this Insectile Aberration in end step either, because then if they daze it, hopefully they don't have anything for the Sylvan Library, which I think is going to have a pretty good chance of sticking outside of just being bounced by Brazen Borrower. So what I don't want to see is just Wasteland Pass. That'd be pretty brutal. Ponder's fine. Chose to shuffle. Interesting. Okay, well there's the Wasteland. That makes things a little bit more tricky. Let's untap and see if we draw land. Okay. So if my opponent shuffled on that Ponder, I don't mind just going for Wasteland here on the Trop. Just to keep him back a little bit. And then go back to square one. We know they have a Brainstorm in hand. Wooded Foothills, okay. Tireless Tracker, interesting. Just gonna hold up Scryb Ranger and also Swords to Plowshares. I can't be too patient with this either. Bayou. Interesting. I'm going to go for Green Suns here, just for Dryad Arbor. Just to keep my mana going, play around Daze a little bit. Doesn't play around Spell Pierce, doesn't play around Force of Will, but I think this is fine. It's always tricky being a little bit patient or being too conservative against Delver because they can be a pretty fast deck out of nowhere. This could also be a Hooting Mandrels deck. 2 for 5. The one thing about taking the Delver hits early on as well is that it makes Sylvan Library a little bit less good, for lack of a better word. Okay. Have we played a land for turn? I don't think we have. We can untap this, return this. Thank you, Jack. And then see if Sylvan Library resolves. If this gets forced, I'm not too unhappy because we're at 9, so we're not really going to be able to use this too well. And it looks like it will, which is kind of nice. Okay. Pitching Oko, interesting. So we untap, we have access to 4 mana, which is kind of nice. Wow, okay, looks like our opponent is Brainstorm locked currently. So, oh, Cradle is exactly what I wanted. They can try to daze it, but we can untap the Dryad Arbor. They kind of have to force it. Maybe they're reading it. Hey, Jalarian, thanks for the follow. Thanks for the good evening. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're well and safe in this time. Wow. Okay. Our opponent probably just couldn't deal with the questing beast in time. It is a 5-turn clock with the Scryb Ranger. Nice. So, going for the 5-0, which is always nice. Hopefully get there. Would be nice to get a 5-0. What have we played against? Infect, Death and Taxes. Infect, Death and Taxes. Delver? We just played against Bug Delver. Or Blue-Red Delver. Infect, D&T. Yeah, hopefully things will get better. What were the other decks? There was... The first one was Infect. We then had Death and Taxes in third. We just played against Blue-Red Delver. Or Bug Delver. On the play, please? Nice. No! Dan! Alright. So Dan is a good lone player. I think I'm pretty happy to keep this. Having the Scavenging Ooze around is going to be pretty nice. So I'm going to keep. And I'm just going to go for a Savannah straight up. Nice. Okay, so Dan's 3-0 as well, which is very cool. But yeah, Dan is a very well-established Maverick player. I believe he's on loan at the moment, but I could be wrong. I know he's been playing around with Bant as well, and doing pretty well with it. Not too sure what Dan is on. If I see Mox Time, and it's most likely Loam. Once Upon a Time, interesting. Windswept. Snow-covered forest, interesting. I don't mind going after mana here. Scooz also kind of answers another Reliquary, so if he is on a Knight of Reliquary deck, then not having the swords for a Knight isn't too bad. Definitely looks like Maverick. Green Suns for 1, okay. Questing Beast. Collector Ouphe, interesting. Let's go for attack first. Hey, Hugo, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? I'm just going to play this for Dryad Arbor. And then play Collector Ouphe. I might also just actively eat their Windswept Heath, their lands as well, to keep Knight at bay. Because if the Scavenging Ooze gets swords, I really want to just make sure my opponent has nothing in the graveyard. Savannah. Knight's fine. Probably just want to keep the Savannah out of there. I don't think there's a reason to do it at instant speed. Dryad, interesting. Wasteland. Sadly, don't have any good attacks, and at least this this Dryad Arbor can be a land that I can actually eat with Ooze to make it a 3/3. So I think here it's just sadly a pass back, because there's no good attacks with this Dryad on the field. Who knew a 2/4 body could be so so rough? Yeah, Maverick, it has a few different names, or reasons for the naming. People say it's called Maverick because it was seen as left field when it came into the meta. There's also Luis, who was, I think, one of the first players online who played with the screen name, like Maverick with an @ sign as the A, so people just called it Maverick. There's a few kind of stories behind the name. With most Legacy decks, I feel, especially Nick Fit, some people think it's based on a song from a popular album at the time, or some people think it meant nice fit. Thalia is okay. Just gonna eat this once. Decay's pretty nice. I won't lie. Decay on Knight here seems to be the best play. And then hopefully Scavenging Ooze can kind of take over the game from there. So, unfortunately, Dan didn't take care of this Bayou early on. I guess my opponent, they could have Steppy in the deck. I don't think they will. But we might as well see what happens here. I'm not sure if Dan is on like a Dark Depths version, which could have Sajiri Step in the deck. He might even just want to, if not, cycle into something like Horizon Canopy. So I could attack for 4, but they can block with both Dryad and Thalia. So I think I just want to pass here. Unfortunately. I could have played Wasteland, so I could Wasteland my own Dryad Arbor, but I don't think that's where I want to be either. I don't want to trade the Screws off for any of these creatures right now. Once. Once is going to be fine. Field of the Dead, okay. At least Wasteland takes care of that pretty well. So here we can eat Knight. And we might as well just eat the ones. My opponent could be playing Tarmogoyf. There's no reason not to. Qasali's pretty nice. I think I just want to take my opponent off mana here. I could also take care of the Dryad. Because of the Collector Ouphe, I'm not too scared of anything else, so I think I might just do that in upkeep. I probably could have done this before blocks even, just to get 2 more damage in. Maybe that was a misplay. Rough. I think I should have. Dryad. Okay. Do I want to do anything in response? No. Karakas. Karakas is super annoying. Karakas means they just get a bunch of blockers because of Thalia. Block with Thalia, return with Karakas. So we need something here. Tireless Tracker is pretty good. I guess we at least attack first. See what they do. At least Tracker turns on all lands that come down now. That's not too bad, because for us that's a bit better. Valakut, interesting. Okay. Valakut's pretty scary, I'm not gonna lie. Especially because of the Dryad. Thalia. I'm attacking here so they use the Karakas, and then we can play Thalia, so they can only use Karakas on their turn. Or... Valakut's gonna be pretty rough. Once. Okay. Verdant's pretty nice because it will trigger the Valakut twice, I believe. Yep. Decay's pretty nice. Kind of have to deal with Dryad. I'm not attacking this turn, unfortunately. I don't want them to trade with the Tireless Tracker here. Ramunap's pretty good. Come on, Karakas, one time. Library's pretty good. Tracker does get exalted, I guess. That is true. I kind of forgot about that. So now we can float, untap return, get a trigger off Tireless Tracker. I think I want to save this swords for now. So I'm happy just to let this slide. I can't use this because of the Collector Ouphe. So I can actually attack with the Collector Ouphe here and see what they do. Most likely just Karakas. Interesting, letting it slide. Huh. Alright. Ooh, what's this? With red? Hopefully this isn't some sort of sweeper. Green Suns for 3. We can't really do anything in response. So there's no real point doing anything in response, so I think we just let this resolve. I guess I can float white. I guess if they get another Dryad, they can play a land from their graveyard and kill something. Yeah. Probably should have swords something in response, and most likely the Ramunap. I guess now if I plow the Dryad, does that work? Hopefully. Because then it checks on resolution and they don't have mountains around? Nice, okay. Cool. Another Thalia, okay. I can Green Suns for Questing Beast, but I don't think that does enough yet. I can put this on top, and then I can't draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can just go for Knight anyway. So we can definitely attack for 2 in the air. And now we can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Untap this. 5. Green Suns for 3. Luckily, let's take out the Thalias. Let's take out the Prelates. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like Bojuka Bog. I like Vraska. I think I like Force of Vigor better than anything else. Especially because it hits the Dryad. I think that's fine. I think this is a fine switch. I don't really need anything else. We'll see how this goes, and if there is a game 3, then we can adapt after that. Hex Drinker was also an option to win next turn, that's very correct. I wonder if Dan's playing Mox Diamond. We did see Noble Hierarchs, so I assume not. Would like to see some number of... This is an interesting one. I don't mind it. We can Green Suns for Dryad Arbor straight up. The Blast Zone is interesting. It means we can Blast Zone for 1 most likely. Hey, I wear yellow Crocs. A huge thank you for the sub. I'm going to keep this. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Once, okay. Tireless Tracker, okay. Alright. I think we're just doing the same thing here. Hey, TK Tech, welcome. Sylvan Library, okay, that's fine. Valakut, that's interesting. So here I think I just like Knight. Could also go Swords and Wasteland, which is kind of interesting. I think for now I'm happy just with Knight. And then go from there, because it just makes our options so much better later on. Sword Wasteland Swing is pretty good. We're currently 4-0, so going for the 5-0 against Dan, who's also on a Maverick-style deck with Valakut and the new Dryad, which makes all your lands all types of basics. Thank you very much. It should be pretty sweet. Taking 1 hit. Okay. Knight themselves. Alright. Well, now we get a pretty good turn, let's be honest. Mum. So, we can Swords the Knight. Abrupt Decay the Sylvan Library. Wasteland the Savannah. That sounds pretty good. Swords Knight. Sack this for a fetch land. Go and get Bayou. Decay this. Oh, second Wasteland? Okay. Let's just go for green mana here. That was pretty big. That was... that was pretty nice. I didn't realize we could play the second Wasteland as well. Started looking at Legacy Soldier Stompy. You foiled it out. Very cool. Moved to D&T. Probably play Maverick due to your streams. Thank you very much. Very cool. Bog's nice. Bog's going to slow me down a lot. But they don't have green mana yet, so that's pretty good for us. Hierarch, okay. I think we just go land. Tracker. And now we can sack this for a fetch land, trigger Tireless Tracker, and then get a Savannah. Ooh, okay. Let's go for a forest, and then we can just play Hierarch. I could hit his mana base, but I kind of want to keep my Wastelands for green sources. Rough. Well, luckily we kind of just had the nuts there. And we get the 5-0, which is really cool. Very cool. Very cool. Nice. Pretty unfortunate for Dan there. Taking him off green mana, and then also having Swords for Night, Wasteland. That's pretty nice, but very cool. Yeah! Feels good. Feels good. Apologies to those with headphones on. The deck felt pretty nice. Hopefully, with 50 viewers as well, I can break 1,000 followers, which is very free. It just takes that one hit of the follow button. I'm currently at 991, so if any of you aren't following, I would love a follow, and we'll see if we can break it. Yeah, that was CSGO coming out. CSGO Dukes. The list felt cool. I think we definitely still have some flex spots in Prelate. The Engineers, pretty much. I think these 3 spots are pretty. You can play around them. I definitely like Sylvan Safekeeper as the 4th mum, which is nice. Hey, he be Genie 1. Thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Hey man, subs are always cool, but of course follows also mean something. I think the mana base was actually quite nice. I could see myself adding in a 4th dual land, just so we can have the ability to fetch it. Probably even a 2nd Savannah or a 2nd Bayou. And drop maybe just a fetch land. Just because sometimes we do run out of black sources pretty easily. But otherwise, the deck felt really nice. I think it's pretty great right now. I think that Thassa's Oracle is the deck that I'm most worried about, but it was very cool to get a 5-0 here. Let's actually open the chests. That's always pretty fun to do. 130 play points. That's a league at least, which is pretty cool. That's pretty sweet. Five play points. Okay, not as good. I think you can get full sets in this. Rishu, nice. Don't want to play all of these. One more. You play Alurin now? Very cool. Hey, Last Hope. Last Hope's got to be good, right? Probably not as good since Playing Engineer got printed, but still pretty sweet. Hex Parasite, nice. A great way to get rid of Oko. Probably not a great way, but it definitely does something. Oh, interesting. That's fair enough. Haha. Apologies, TK Tech. Questing Beast is still pretty good. I could see this spot being shifting Ceratops as well, but Archangel of Thune, nice. Pretty cool card. Last one. Full set, full set, full set, full set. Oath of Gaea, so close. Also the Graveyard Hate I kind of like. I've always been a bit of a hater on Bojuka Bog, just because it's pretty slow in this deck when you only have Night to find it. But I think right now with the slowdown of the format a little bit, Bog's pretty good. So I'm pretty okay with it. If you want to play Crop Rotation, I think Crop Rotation is a fine card, because you can also crop into things like Cradle, Karakas. There's a few good cards. But that is me. I'm going to quickly see who else is playing. Hopefully we can send you guys off somewhere. Oh, Cyrus is. Very cool. Okay. Well then, Cyrus is definitely getting a boost from me. Oh, he's playing the Modern Prelim. That's pretty cool. Let's go to dashboard. I'll be back tomorrow morning as well, so I'll be back in just under 24 hours. I'm going to say about 20 hours I'll be playing again. And I'm going to be playing with Dreadnought 33 on Bant like Maverick, which is very cool. It's the depth version, which should be pretty fun. So hopefully we'll see you there. In the meantime, enjoy Cyrus. Thank you all to the people who followed and subbed. Means a lot. A 5-0 was very cool. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much.